Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect timing. Slustavo's in the house. That must be Slustavo over there, getting the Sloopy warmed up, getting ready for landing into Wellington. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Man, look at all these New Zealand birds out here. I feel like I'm missing out. I need to be in the black and white Air New Zealand livery. But I got a fun one for y'all today. A little bit different, not really a little bit different, but we haven't done something like this in a while, so it should be fun. I guess Jetstar does operate within New Zealand, so this is not totally unrealistic. However, we've got, and actually it works out good. We've got the Jetstar Revenue Flight. There's the rescue aircraft. This aircraft has got some MEL maintenance items. We need to repo it over to Wellington to get it work done. We're going to look at some additional maintenance procedures today. No V1 cut, hopefully, unless it happens randomly. I really hope we don't have one. We're already going to be breaking the rules for the RMP departure, I think, one of our MELs. We'll talk about that in a minute. But welcome back. Yes, we are going Queenstown up to Wellington, New Zealand. Real time, real weather. Love the morning time here. Just absolutely beautiful. Blue hour right now in the sim. Got some scattered clouds. Absolutely love it. I think, did they ever fix the real weather in 2020? Because I remember when we did the 2020 tour down here, the weather was just always clear skies because like it just had a hard time updating. Anyway, good to see that we've got some clouds up there. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day in New Zealand. And after this stream, we're going to be back in New Zealand, low-level prop flying. I really hope y'all tune in for that one. The 414 Chancellor. I haven't flown it in many months, but let me tell you, it is one of the most refreshing things I've flown on the sim so far. Maybe even one of the most refreshing things I've flown in 2024. It's just that good and that smooth. So, all right. Zippy, good to see you. Team Vodka's in the house. Oscar's here. Brad Ward, Digital Merc, good to see you. College Dude, what's up? Cali Simmer in the house. What kind of tea or latte we having in the land down under? Well, I heard that they get good cafe con leches down here. I have the wife on coffee delivery this morning. Hopefully she comes through. She's got to run down to the airport, pick up her friends. Her friends are coming into town, so I'm going to stay at the office for a little while. I've flown in and out of Queenstown on Jetstar in a 320 and across the ditch rather than domestic. Stunning place. Very cool. Very cool. I actually really like this Jetstar livery. It's got that like metallic looking silver to it, and when you throw those IEs on there, that has got some hardcore 7.5 vibes. Some liveries make this have like a hardcore 7.5 vibe, and this is one of them too. This one and the other one we flew the other day, that same kind of deal with the 321, but I actually really like this kind of metallic gray. Pretty juicy. Does New Zealand have drop bears? I don't know what that is, but I don't know what that is. Random failures are on. They're turned up to 11, but we also already MEL'd some things. Let's go ahead and let's get in the aircraft. Let's get everything fired up here first, and then we'll go over what we've got to cover on the ground. It's a short flight, so we're going to spend a little bit more time than usual on the ground, and I figure it's good that we do this now because I got a line check coming up in 2 weeks, and if we can do anything to get myself back in the manuals, this will be a good help for all parties involved. So let's go ahead and fire it up. We'll go ahead and get the battery switches on. Let me make sure I got the sim sounds turned up. Might have them turned down here. I sure do. Battery 1, battery 2. Get the avail light on there. Let's go ahead and wake up the aircraft today. Get it woken up. We'll get the MELs ready. Do I ever fly into Myrtle? I do. Yeah, I haven't in a while, but I do. What's up, Steven? Good to see you. Oh, for those of you that were in the DC9 stream yesterday and saw Steven's message saying that he has no issues in the DC9, he was trolling. That DC9 has got some problems, man, which it's such a shame because I want so badly it to be good. So bad. I mean, I think it can get acceptable. It's just not acceptable in my opinion right now. But give it a few updates. Hopefully they update it, and then maybe we'll revisit it. But yeah, Stephen Hayner, the King Troll. I'm over here struggling. And then I hear people saying they don't have issues with it. I'm like, well, then what's wrong with my sim? And then come to find out he's just trolling. He actually crashed. Go figure. Anyway, DC9 APU always powered up. Evan, I looked at some other content creators doing that DC9 APU thing. I think somebody in 2020 was able to shut it off. But the binding in 2024, I think, has changed, like the middle mouse click and then right click. Because whenever I do that, it resets. I don't know why hopefully we got our DUs turned off here. It resets my view. So I think what happened is I bet the bindings changed. I know they've changed a little bit from 2020 to 2024, like some of the original bindings, and I think that's what that airplane might also be suffering from, because for the life of me, I could not get that APU to shut off. Team Vodka, you might be right. I might have to try with a different keyboard layout on that 9, but still, here's the thing. At the very least, until they can adjust the engine spool up time on that thing, that's the biggest out of all the issues we had yesterday. The engine management was the #1 issue for me. Oop, flaps are not in position 0. Let's go ahead and put those up there. Let's actually make sure those are off. Park brake is on. Never did our flow. There we go. All right, let's go up to the overhead. We're going to look at some things here. We'll get the crew supply ground control CVR test. We'll see here, Captain Purse Captain. We've got looks like a ELAC 1 fault. Let's go ahead and get the ADIRs into alignment. Put strobe into auto. We'll go auto on the no smoking. Arm the emergency exit lights. Coming up the overhead here, it looks like we have a Gen 1 off. Now, this is not the FS Lab, so I don't have $75 orange stickers to put here. But in real life, you would have a orange MEL right here, or INOP, and then the MEL number. Same with the ELAC as well. So we've got 2 imaginary orange stickers up there. Engine fire 1, engine fire 2. We'll do an APU fire test. That looks good. Out and on. Captain 3. Beautiful. Flight. Hey, so I found out this has nothing to do with the Moza. Wrong Side Sim was getting the null zone issue in his, and he just has a Warthog base. So that is something that, I don't know, that's something that Fenix has got to look at, because if everyone's getting it with different types of hardware, not just my niche hardware, then something must be triggering that on the Fenix side of things. But let's go ahead and get our VORs on, constraint mode. Let's update the Magic Barrel Ref 2947, low pressure today. Flight plan, we'll pull it into the box here. Queenstown to Wellington, operating as Jetstar 357. Cost index, we'll go 55. While I'm looking at it, our cruise altitude, we filed 310. And ground temp is 13. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and put that up. I still can't get my Navigraph charts to work on the side app. I tried updating a little file from Navigraph. It didn't seem to work, so we're going to be using the traditional Navigraph here, which is fine. Let's take a look at departure. Excuse me. Let's look at Fenix tab here, mass and balance. Let's do a loading real time. We'll do real time 21 minutes. We'll let them do their things because we got some stuff to look at and deal with. All right, Queenstown. Ground charts, we're going to be looking at 10-9, and I've been told that runway 5 is the departure that we want to do for the most cinematic juice. However, if we look at our MELs, which we're going to go over here momentarily, I'm not sure we'll be able to do that. I don't have anything filed, which is interesting. The Simbri flight plan gave me the Berg 1? or Bridge 1, is that it? Berg 1 on Queenstown, runway 5. Ooh, come back around. Alright, that's what we have filed off 5. Let's take a look at the weather real quick. You guys let me know if there's a one that's got more juice that we should do. Quick METAR check. If I refresh it, winds are 010 at 3. So runway 5 would be good. Infian says runway 5, the Dovum 3 Alpha. Let's look at that, and then I'm gonna set up the box completely, and then we're gonna look at our MELs, and you'll see the conundrum we're gonna be in here. This is a good real-world thing to look at, because I've actually, all the MELs we're going over today I've had in real life. Ooh. Okay, Dovum 5. This is RNP departure. Yes, it is. So, we're going to do this one because of the juice. But in real life, we would not be able to do it for the reasons we'll get to here. So let's do Dovum 3. We'll insert that all the way out. And now we're going to have to modify this slightly. We'll go to plan mode. Adult. And then from adult, let's clear the disco. It's like circles. It's kind of a waste of time here, but we won't maybe do the whole thing. So there's the turnout. all the way out. Boom, 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 boom. Down south. Okay, following the departure for maximum juice. Okay, so after Adulp, we're going to go to Timjo. Let's do that. So, Adulp, we're just going to get rid of the Queenstown VOR. We're not going to come back to the Queenstown VOR. That'll help straighten out the line. So we've modified our flight plan a little bit. That looks better like that. I like that. Cool. Bring that back down to 10 DME. We'll let it align. Let's do a quick secondary initialization for Queenstown NZQN. NZQN. Secondary. We'll come back to 5 if we need it. Now, to my knowledge, they actually take 321 Neos out of here across the ditch, right? If we have to come back, I guess we'll do the RNAV Zulu 5. I don't remember what we did on the barrel, but let's just, I think it was like 4,300 or something. That's fine. I'm not planning on coming back to this airport. If something goes wrong, we would probably continue on and pick a different airport that's a little bit more suitable. 29er, what was it, 5.6? 29er 4.7 for the meter. And the winds, we'll just zero them out right now. Hold on. Coffee delivery is calling. Stand by. All right. No coffee delivery today, dang it. All right. We'll have to get our own coffee. All right. Yeah, I was muted because I had to answer a phone there real quick. All right, secondary is done. NZQN's going here. Nah, stream didn't die. I had to answer a phone, sorry. All right. Now, we've got that set up. Let's take a look at this company message real quick. Al W, what's up, man? Somebody turn off the AC. Thanks for 39 months support. Al, I'm telling you, man, it is freaking cold in Texas, dude. Oh my gosh, is this thing going to start up now? All right. It is cold, Al. Thanks for the 39 months support, dude. All right.
On-time departure.
On-time departure. We'll see about that. Okay. So, first and foremost, if we look at our overhead, we've noticed that we've got the ELAC 1 fault. So that's going to be our first MEL that we have to tackle this morning. Let's go ahead and dive into that. I have the MEL here on my real-world EFB. I'm not going to show it to you because I've actually showed something like this similar to y'all, but there might be some proprietary stuff in here, so I'm going to keep it off the internet to see. But let's go ahead and go over this together. Elevator aileron control computers. This is MEL 279301-2. So we'd have to verify the number. We'd have probably an MEL sticker right here, and then you'd have an additional sticker up here over the ELAC 1 flight control computer. We have multiple restrictions for this MEL. We've got an operational restriction. We have a recurring action restriction, which is maintenance and flight crew. That means that every flight, the mechanics and the flight crew have to do something. There's an additional MEL that has to be applied because of this one MEL, and all of this one is just, it says you have to downgrade the aircraft to category 1. You can't be cat 2 or cat 3. And then there's a dispatch concurrence procedure. So there's a whole lot of stuff out there. This is for A321 aircraft, IAE engines, multiple different mods, yada yada. So remarks and exceptions. Let's get into this. Except for ETOPS, which we are not doing ETOPS operation today. ELAC 1 or any ELAC function may be inoperative provided that both accelerometers associated with ELAC 2 operate normally. All side stick transducers associated with ELAC-2, and the 3 SEC computers operate normally. ELAC-2, SECs, ADIRs, SFCCs, LGCIU, FACs, and RAs operate normally. Transformer rectifier, TR1 and TR2 operate normally. DC tie contactor is verified closed before each departure. All roll spoilers operate normally. Elevators and roll spoilers through SCCs are verified operative before each flight. That's what we're going to do here on the MEL. Approach minimums are downgraded to Cat 1. Above flight level 200, the use of speed brake lever is limited to its half position for certain modded A320s, which does not, it would apply to this aircraft as well. So, but it just kind of depends on what mod you have. All right. So now that we kind of read all that mumbo jumbo, we actually have to do a procedure here to verify the flight control computers are working before each flight. And again, I've had this MEL and it's a pain in the butt. So here's a big bold statement though. This is where we get a problem. Flight preparation / limitations. For aircraft with the RNP AR capability, RNP AR operations are not permitted. So we would not be able to do the DOVM departure today with the ELAC-1 fault. We would have to do something else if this was a real-world departure. But for the juice, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. Autopilot 1, if Autopilot 1 is engaged for landing, it's Cat 1 only. Okay. And it goes over the maintenance procedure. This is like a 7-page MEL. I don't know why I picked this one, but here we go. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to check the elevator and roll spoilers through the SEC computers. So ground personnel will be cleared. We'll turn the beacon on. That would just let ground personnel know, hey, we're going to be pressurizing the system. Yellow electric pump comes on. All right. With the yellow electric pump on, I'm going to pull up the hydraulics page. And now we can see we've pressurized yellow and green. All right, PTU is in auto, blue electric pump is in auto, blue pump override on. So we need to pressurize the blue system. So to do that, we're going to go all the way up here to the maintenance panel. You probably forgot that we even have this. We're going to go ahead and bring the blue override pump on. With the blue override pump on, we will now pressurize the blue system. All right, ELAC 2 is on, SEC 1, 2, and 3 are all on. So all of our flight control computers are on minus our MEL. Check that the elevator control through SCC 1 and SCC and spoilers through the SCC 3. So what we need to do is pull up the flight control page and we can see roll spoilers 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Now the elevator is not going to be affected. Wonderful. All right. After elevator and spoiler control, we need to turn the blue override pump off. So we'll come back over here. We'll turn off the blue override pump. Now we need to wait for hydraulic circuit depressurization. Blue has been depressurized. On the flight control SD page, check that the blue becomes amber. It has now become amber. Wait 5 seconds. Blue override back on. Now imagine doing this 3 legs in a row here. Blue override back on. The blue override back on. Flight control, check that the blue elevator becomes amber. Wait 5 seconds. Oh, we already did that. ELAC 2 and SEC 2 come off. So now we're going to go ahead and turn off ELAC 2 and SEC 2. Those come off. Bring up the flight control page. Move the captain's side stick from the right stop to the left stop. So now we've got 3, 4, 5. Then forward from forward stop to aft stop. Checks. Move the FO side stick, you would do the same thing. Check that the movement of spoilers 2, 3, and 4 and the full travel of both elevators. We have verified that. If an expected elevator movement does not occur, do not attempt any reset. Contact the maintenance personnel. So we're dispatching. You can see we still have 2, 3, and 4. We still have full control elevator and roll spoilers with even additional failures of our flight control computers. All right, we verified that. We can turn those back on. all lights extinguish. Wait 5 seconds. And now we're going to depressurize the yellow electric pump. We're going to bring up the hydraulics. We got depressurized, green and yellow. We're left to blue. And then we would verify ELAC 2 and SEC 1. We're basically going to run through the same checks, which for the sake of time, I'm going to omit for right now. But essentially we would turn off the 3 and 2 and SEC 1 and do the same control checks. Now after that has been completed, we'll wait for complete depressurization. Wonderful. Go ahead and get rid of the hydraulic page. That takes care of our first flight control MEL. Now the other one we're going to have is the generator, which I'm just going to pull it up, but we're not going to do it just yet. Generator. Generator. I gotta find a 321 IAE engines. Here we go. Okay. I'm just gonna read you this real quick. You guys think, you know, when I talk about Airbus having multiple different mods. So I've pulled out my MEL for generator 1 being in-opt. Okay. We have like a dozen different versions you can select from in the MEL book. Check out the mods just for this particular MEL. IA engines, aircraft with analog AMU, or with any of the following mods: 3778 MP, P10402 digital AMU power supply upgrade, or AC essential feed automatic switching, or aircraft with mods 3107 P7009 digital SATCOM AMU, or 3967 MP103 GCU generator contactor 5.2. Those are all different mods that you have that, I mean, maintenance knows which ones we need, and then it applies to the tail number. But just as an example, when I say no Airbus is the same, generally speaking, there are so many different variants of Airbus out there and configurations. It's quite crazy when you look at the MEL and you see all the different mods that could be applicable to your particular aircraft. So, all right. With the majority of our big MEL done, we'll go ahead and get the fuel on. Let's go ahead and get the aircraft ready.
Queenstown traffic, Air New Zealand 300, leaving gate 1 Alpha, taxiing via Alpha 3 to runway 05, Queenstown.
We're almost fully loaded up here. We'll go ahead and get the APU started up. Oh, wow, look at that. Mike P, currently on a real-life 737 LA to Miami. Ooh, are you going on vacation, Mike P? You need it, my man. You need that vacation, dude. Thanks for the 27 months support. I'm sorry that you're on a 737.
Pushing back from my crash in stand 3.
Check right soon what you're doing. You're not supposed to. That fake pilot sticker might not be a joke, man. I know it. That's right. We're going to do it for the juice. APU spooling up. Got the New Zealand's taxiing out. Oh, another one pushing back. That might be the best 320 livery there is, man. That might be the best 320 livery there is.
Queenstown traffic, Air New Zealand 300, entering runway 05.
All right, APU is up and running. We'll start the chrono. All right, chrono is on. We're going to disconnect from external power. And we're almost done. We got 30 more peeps to go. We'll come back over here to the ground services. Let's pull the aft stairs. We'll just wait for the remaining 30 people. Then we're out of here. Couldn't find a wad body going to LA to Miami. Nice. Hope you're catching a cruise ship or something, man. Can pilots prank each other if they shut down the airplane when disconnecting external power? No. It's a good way to lose your job. I was wondering whether the real-world fuel differences between the 19, 20, and 21. I've heard other pilots say the 19 feels like a rocket ship, and the 321 is sluggish. That is correct. It's the same wing. Think about this. Generally the same wing from the 19 to the 21. So the 19 being much smaller, and less weight, same engines, except they're a little bit more derated, a little bit less thrust, respectively, but same lift surfaces really. So the 321 is a bit of a dog. Captain Simp, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. V1, it's my first time in DFW. What a day. I got a 3-hour layover. What's your favorite food stop in the airport? I wouldn't say I have a favorite in the airport there at DFW, and there's a whole bunch of... I'll tell you what, go to Terminal D, the international concourse. You're going to find the best stuff over there. I think the best restaurants are Terminal D. So take the Skylink. You could take that Skylink all the way around. It doesn't matter what direction you get on unless you're trying to hurry up. But if you take the Skylink to Terminal D, they've got some good food options. Chick-fil-A is over on D. There's a Chick-fil-A on E if you want that.
Queenstown traffic, Air New Zealand 300 departing runway 05, Queenstown.
But I would just go over, walk around Terminal D, find yourself a good something over there. Harrist Das, the 5 gifted memberships. My man, I appreciate you. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, my friend. Appreciate you. All right, while we wait for the last few passengers, the next MEL that we have is the Generator 1. So I'm going to brief it real quick, and then we're going to do it after engine start. So we're dispatching with a Generator 1 inoperative. That means we're going to have have 2 other sources of electrical power running. So we're going to have the APU run the whole flight, and after engine start, we need to verify the redundancies of the APU generator and Generator 2 picking up the load for the AC Bus 1. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but trust me, once you see it get done, it's actually not that complex. Panda Express, it always hits. Yeah, it always hits, 45 minutes later when you're taking off. Don't do that. Hayden J. Robbins, Mr. Speedbird. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Mr. Speedbird in the house. Good to see you. All right, APU bleed is coming on. We got 3 minutes. We'll reset the chrono. Our box is set. Boarding is almost complete. We'll send the weights for takeoff. We're going to do runway 5 dry. We'll do a prelim, packs off, Toga, we're going to need it, optimum flaps, live weather, calculate. I just want to see what the prelim is saying. Flaps 2 up 0.7, Toga takeoff. All right. Remember, we need 250 likes to go packs off on this, so I highly suggest that we go packs off and you set that like goal to 250. All right, 4 more peeps and then we're out of here.
Please place your large bag.
Look at that sunrise. Oh, that's kind of a cool, like, observatory situation up here. I wonder if you could walk up here. That'd be cool. I wish you could walk up some of the stairs, like in the third-person view. Lee Slang, welcome back to Private Pilot. So glad to have you on board, man. All right, aircraft is loaded. We'll go ahead and dismiss. We'll send the latest numbers to the McDo. 10.7 block fuel. Check, make sure it is balanced. It is. Fuel tanks are on. Seatbelts are on. Checks out. All right. 146.426.426.3. Beautiful. We'll go back to the perf data now. Let's run our final perf data numbers. We'll sync the final load sheet. We'll calculate. We'll send that to the McDo. 23, 28, 31, flaps 2 up 0.7, and that checks. Okay. In that case, I left the beacon on the whole time. That's my mistake. Ground crew would be up there banging on the door like, why do you have the beacon on? But we'll leave it on. We'll go ahead and get rid of the stairs, chocks and cones. GPU can be disconnected. Close that door. Connect the tug. Beacon is on. New Zealand traffic, Jetstar 357. Get ready to push back off of stand 2. New Zealand traffic. Phoenix and up stickers win.
1905 pushing back from stand. I don't fucking know because the terminal disappeared.
Ah, sounds like a 2020 problem. Look at that sunrise, though. That is so awesome. Last night I saw a post about somebody wanting to integrate 24 with GTA 6 if it comes out. That'd be something. Seth Jones, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board, man. Alright, tug is connected. Tiller cam is coming up.
Queenstown traffic, New Zealand 610, pushing off gate 5. Queenstown.
Gate 5. So we're going to have to back taxi to get on runway 5. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to push tail to my right so we can work on our after start MEL. Alright, cockpit ground brakes released. Clear to push. No, don't go that way. Go that way. We're off. Nah, I don't use GSX. GSX dead to me, man. So many issues with it. Not worth the hassle. I use a 4080 Super post-weave. 4080 Super. Evan, you haven't flown since FS9? Welcome to the revolution, my man. This is a whole nother ball game here. Look at that. Another Jetstar, another Kiwi. Pretty good job here. See, who needs GSX? Fenix pushback for the win. Perfect. We're out of the way. That makes me a little nervous. You see this thing up here? I feel like, I don't know what that is, but I feel like that could be dangerous to taxi over. Alright, let's go ahead and start them up, and we're going to have to work through our electrical MEL. Get some more integral light juice on in here, get some more floodlight juice on in here. There we go, more integral lights down there. There we go, now we're juicing up. We'll set our top altitude, no ATC online, that's my bad. We set 310. 310 is set, flight directors are on. Alright, let's go ahead and start them up. Engine mode to ignition start. We got bleed pressure, turning engine 1. Here we go. Aviation dude, always start engine 1. Engine 1 always.
About exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position which you must adopt if you hear.
Alright, we got a good start on number 1. There's the Avail. I kind of want to start it from outside view. Starting 2. Just want to see it.
That you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seat. Remove from the pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together. Pull the strap to adjust.
Beautiful.
Do not inflate.
Didn't most U.S. operations engine start 1? Yeah, everybody started engine 1 first.
Inflate it.
We've been starting engine 1 first since Airbus invented the Airbus, pretty much. Since they changed the hydraulic layout. Alright, got a couple of associated ECAMs. We'll get to that here in a minute. We'll go flaps
The cabin
2.
crew can assist you with life jackets for children. Your tray table must now be stowed.
I like these flap track fairings with the orange.
Window blinds open,
That is
and
pretty
seatbelt
cool looking.
fastened. Further
That is pretty
information
cool
regarding
looking
your
there.
safety
All right. So we've got a master caution that's associated. Let's go ahead and work through that. So electric Gen 1 off. We'll clear electric Gen 1. Flight control ELAC 1 fault. Clear flight control. Those are associated with the MEL. So we'll go ahead and clear both of those out. Now, per the MEL procedure, let me pull it up here real quick. So now that we have our 2 engines started and we're dispatching with 1 generator offline, we have to verify that we can back up all of the electrical buses should another failure occur in flight. So APU generator operates normally. Ensure the APU oil quantity. That's a maintenance function. All buses powered. Galley shedding verified to operate normally. Aircraft remains at or below flight level 330. That's why we're filed at 31,000 feet. Approach minimums downgraded Cat 3 single, but remember our last MEL we actually downgraded to Cat 1, so that is supersedes the Cat 3 single limitation, so we're Cat 1 only per our other MEL. If the associated IDG is disconnected, it is not. Inner wing tank fuel temperature, we'd have to monitor and check that. Some more associated procedures. That does not apply. We do not have the IDG disconnected. We just have generator 1 off. Okay. So, galley and cabin switch, check auto. Galley and cabin is in the auto position. Generator 1 and generator 2 off. Generator 1, generator 2 off. You can hear the transfer. APU generators picked up the load AC bus 1 and AC bus 2. That's associated. All right, operative generator back on. Generator 2 back online. APU generator off. APU generators coming off. You can hear the associated bus transfer. Now look what's happened. Generator 2 has now picked up the load for AC bus 1 and is powering both AC buses. All right. Once that has been completed, we can go APU generator back on. APU bleed comes off. APU will be run for the duration of the flight, so the APU master switch stays on. If necessary, IDG may be disconnected. Confirm fuel planning for APU fuel burn. At flight level 300, we can expect 119 pounds per hour with the APU running additional. A321 only. If OAT is at or below minus 40 C, it is not. That does not apply. During the flight, if the IDG with the associated inoperative main generator has been disconnected, we must monitor fuel temps and make sure they do not go above minus 43 C. A couple of dispatch procedures, and then voila, that's it. So we are good to go. Looks like the cabin crew is ready. Let's go ahead and answer that call from them as well. Realistic timing on that too. Hello.
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Excellent, thank you. All right. We are ready to go. Flaps 2, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We're supposed to be up 0.7 on the pitch trim. Up 0.7 is set now. Quick flight control check. Rudder. Cool. All right, we are all good to go. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config check. Oh, engine 1 oil delay temp. Engine 2 oil delay temp. Stand by on that. We'll make sure our terrain is up on ND, TARA, New Zealand traffic, Jetstar 357, taxi runway 05. So we've got engine 1 and 2 oil temps are not ready for takeoff. I'm going to leave that ECAM up until we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and get the taxi light on and get out of here. Brakes are released. We're rolling.
Queenstown traffic, New Zealand 610, taxi runway 05, number 2. Maybe.
Alright, we're going to back taxi. Queenstown traffic, Jetstar 357, back taxi, runway 05, Queenstown. Alright, let's go ahead and
New Zealand 600 taking off 05.
What? There you are. Okay, we're holding short, runway 05. That would have been nice to know.
I saw you slam the brake.
We'll turn our lights off too. Did not see him there. We did not cross the hold short line. Pro pilot would have called up right after I said back taxi and 05. He would have made a position report. All right, how about that for a few little extra talkings this morning? I'm already wore out. All right, here goes a New Zealand off 05. We're only at 177 on the likes. We need 250 likes before takeoff. We'll go packs off out of here, which will be pretty juicy. There he goes. New Zealand, correction, Queenstown traffic, Jetstar 357, back taxi 05, Queenstown. All right, there he goes. That is so awesome. Look at how beautiful that is. My goodness. We'll get all the lights on since we're doing a back taxi, and I don't want to come back up here, and I don't have a light panel from Java Sim. All right. Predictive wind shear is, let's go off, auto, EWS. There we go. Climbing the hill here, I think. This is a handcrafted Adobo airport. All right, we got to do a 180 turn on the runway. If I can, I like to do it from the left side. That's what the book says as well. You want to turn. Basically, you want to come up to the left side of the aircraft because it's where the captain is, right? So it makes it a little bit easier to judge how close you are to the dirt for the 180 turn on the runway. This will be interesting. I haven't done one of these in a long time, so hopefully we don't screw it up. Order to Toby eye tracker arrives any minute. Oh, that's pretty cool, Nabil. I've heard good things about Toby, man. I've heard good things. Turn up the sim sounds a little bit. All right, so we want to try to approach at a 45, kind of how it's painted here. See if I can do this right. All right. Nose it in. We'll snug up nice and tight. Now I'm going to show you external view. So look, we actually have the space. It looks like you're in the dirt almost, but look at your mains. We're actually pretty good here. So it's kind of deceiving. Get up nice and tight, and then we're going to crank it all the way over. And give ourselves a little bit of thrust. A little bit of differential thrust. Hold that brake. Might have actually given myself a little too much room. Let's see. Yeah, we sure did. We cut that even a little bit tighter than we need to. It's impressive how far you can turn this. How steep that nose wheel can roll over. All right, we'll use the runway here. Technically, I don't know if these markings are correct, but the way these markings are, technically, you would have to start your takeoff rule from the threshold here. You're not supposed to start your takeoff threshold here from this displaced area. So we'll be pro pilots. Let's creep forward a little bit, get onto the threshold. I don't know if that's what the real paint job looks like. I would imagine it's not. I would imagine it's displaced so you can take off from the 180 area. Queenstown traffic, Jetstar 357 departing runway is 05, Queenstown. All right, did we hit 250 likes? You guys have about 3 seconds while I, what is our fuel in the amber? Did you guys see that? 1.9 fuel? I don't like that. How much fuel are we supposed to have? We have 10.2 in the tanks. Oh, it's because of the SID. That's all right. All right. 230 on the likes. All right, we're going packs on. Here we go. Spool them up 50. Sounds are coming up. The yoga. There's the phase out when we're doing Toga thrust. Mantoga SRS auto thrust blue. That is realistic. Thrust set. 100 knots. V1.
Queenstown traffic, New Zealand 610,
Rotate.
back taxi 05, Queenstown.
Positive rate. Gear up, fly with. Wow. Oh, that is awesome. We're on R&P departure. We actually got to watch this here. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Screenshot. It's associated. Oh, no, it's not. Fake pilot. FO forgot to turn the transponder on. Here comes thrust reduction. Love it. Not as good as the 320, I think. Actually, I think the 319 is the best. Wow, I don't know whether to look outside or to fly the airplane. We got to maintain 140 here in the turn. Bank angle check to the left.
Please keep your seatbelt fastened whilst the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated.
This is for the climb gradient here. We're going to maintain climb thrust, 145 on the speed. Electric Gen 1 off, that's associated. Clear electric, clear electric. Clear status.
Beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar, will be acceptable for major credit and debit cards. If we can be of any further assistance, just ask us as we
I bet the thrust reduction out of here is higher than what it was set to. I think I just had a standard like 1,000-foot reduction. I would imagine it's much higher. Steven says, okay, I admit it now, 2024, it looks better than 2020. About time. Look at that. I know I should turn the autopilot on, but I want to hand fly this a little bit. Ah, screw it. Let's get max juice view in. Autopilot's actually gonna shorten or shallow out that turn.
Traffic, New Zealand 610, departing runway 05, Queenstown.
Look at the lighting. Look, I can't believe we're at this part. Look, I mean, the lighting coming in here, the mountain blocks it, it's all in the shadow. Jesse says I normally hand fly until 10K. Yeah, I should have been hand flying, but I'm blown away by this. Turn the sounds down a little bit. Look at that right there. Look at that. I'm taking a screenshot. Yeah, look at all those blurry textures, man. It's so blurry down there. All right, let's actually continue to fly this. Okay, so here comes 11,000 at or below 11. 145, which we're at. We're looking good. And then let's pull up that SID here real quick. Max 145, 11,000 by ATC assigned. Max 185 out there by Redole. So there we go. Now we're accelerating out of 10,000 feet. We'll kill the lights. Forward call. Remember, we're leaving the APU on. We're going to accelerate now. Here comes F speed. We will go flaps 1. Speed checks. Flaps 1. That'll help us accelerate a little bit better. Outside air temp is +5. Let's go ahead and get the engine and IS on. Wow, look at this. This is why I can't wait to come back and fly around here with the 414 this afternoon. Oh my gosh, it looks like a Jetstar commercial. I really love this thing. I gotta throw this on my top 10 livery list. I love this metallic looking color. Metallic paint. It reminds me of that Spiritual Wings, kind of that grayscale paint job Spiritual Wings had. All right, now here's a kicker. We cannot go flaps 1 above flight level 200. So at some point here, we're going to need to retract. I know we're 185. Let's take a look at our min clean. 216. So we would need to accelerate here to 216. And since we're not going to fly, oops, I didn't mean to do heading. Let's go back to nav. We're going to accelerate. We're going to request 220. And then we're going to not fly the entire departure all the way out just to save a little bit of fuel, because that's way south. We don't need to go way down south. Nope, flaps are a flaps position 1. We did a flaps 2 takeoff. All right, there's that standards. STDs are set. Once we clean up, we'll shorten up and we'll get en route. So auto flap retraction will be what, 206, somewhere in there. Let's let it auto retract. There it goes. So now we've got the slats are out, flaps are up, and now we're approaching our clean. We'll go all the way flaps 0 after takeoff checklist. Paulo, we're just simulating a generator 1 in op this morning. You can dispatch with a generator in op, no problems. All right, so let's go ahead and cut the corner. Let's go direct to the fix after AdLup. This will help us on our fuel. After AdLup, it's Tim Joe, insert. That one doesn't look so good right there. Where's Turk at? Don't let Turk see that mountain. He's gonna freak out. That mountain looks like it needs a little work. Does the APU doing contrail high altitude like an engine? You know what? In theory, it absolutely should have a contrail. I don't know if it does or not, especially in the sim. But I would imagine, just like a jet engine, it's doing the same thing. I would imagine that APU would be contrailing. Come to think of it, I haven't seen any APU contrails. Like, so every now and then you cross over at altitude and there's an airplane that's contrailing. You can see it real close. I haven't seen one in any recent memory. I'm sure it would. I was on a SAS flight last week where they started engine 1 first, set flaps, and then started 2 while taxiing out the runway. Is this both flights? Is that Airbus SOP? Yeah. That's what we do, man. Start engine 1 first, then you set your flaps. Because you can do your after start checklist, and depending on the SOP, your flaps are going to be in your after start checklist. So you start engine 1, do your flaps, all that stuff, and then you continue out. Now, when you start engine 2, you will also do the after start checklist again. So if you really want to get nitty gritty, technically, if you go back into the book, into the weeds on it here, the recommended procedure for the pilot monitoring, which in the U.S., the first officer is always the pilot monitoring on the ground. So in the U.S., the captain is always taxiing on the ground, even if it's the first officer's leg to fly. So for engine starting, after engine 1 is started, there is no command that says engine 1 started. The reason being, the captain is set with the parking brake set. He can see when the engine 1 is started. If you start engine 2 on the taxi out, the pilot monitoring is supposed to say engine 2 started. That is because the captain, in theory, is taxiing on a single engine, and he's not monitoring.
Back taxiing runway 05.
He's not monitoring exactly what the first officer is doing. He's focusing on taxiing the aircraft. Now, in real life and real world scenario, I obviously can see when the engine 2 is started, but you want to get into the weeds. Letter of the law. After engine 1 is started, there is no command that engine 1 has been started. If you're doing a single engine taxi, you start engine 2 on the taxi out, then there is a audible command from the pilot monitoring saying engine 2 started. And that would trigger the after start checklist for the second time. All right, we can go ahead and manage speed. We'll manage speed. We're out of the ice. Engine out of ice comes off. Climbing up to 310 now. Looking good, looking good. No, it doesn't have a contrail because no chemtrail fluid is added. go back to full screen cam now. Beautiful morning out of New Zealand. Beautiful. Do you have to start engine 2 while stationary? No, you can do it while moving. We do it while moving all the time. And a matter of fact, just on my last trip, push back. Always want to be considerate of your fellow aviators, right? Push back into a tight alley. I could hear there's 3 other planes waiting for push, but we're in the alley. So I told the first officer, like, hey, let's get rolling on 1. We'll start 2 once we clear the alley. So that way it saves another, 3 minutes or so. So those guys can go ahead and push back. So we start engine 1, tug tow salute, Shaka, taxi out, start engine 2. A lot of times we'll do that to get out of the alley, clear the space up for other aircraft. Or if you know, one thing that I have a habit of doing now, because I've been burned so many times before, is I'll actually bring up the Flight Radar app. So I'll bring up Flight Radar before we start taxiing out. So after we push back, or in the pushback, push complete, waiting for the first engine to start, I'll look at the Flight Radar app on my EFB, and I can see how many aircraft are in position for takeoff. If I pull it up and I see, 15 planes down there at the hold short line, I know it's going to be a little minute. It's going to be a while for us to depart. So we'll just go out on engine number 1, and then we'll just single engine taxi all the way to the hold short, and then or until we're like number 4 or 5 in line. Typically, you can start an engine. If you're number 4 in line for takeoff, you can start an engine and have your warm-up time complete before you need to go. If you wait till you're number 3, depending on how fast they're launching them, you could be stuck on a warm-up time, and that you don't want to be that guy. No one wants to be waiting in line for takeoff just to hear that the guy in front of them doesn't have their engine warm-up time yet. Alexandra Bellini, thanks for the 39 month support. Just got McDo and FCU from Windwing. I should try it. Ooh. I'll post those Discords up I'll post those pictures up in the Discord. I want to take a look at those. That's awesome. We did a single engine taxi and we're 10 in line. Captain started too late. We had to wait an extra minute. Engine warm up. Marginally embarrassing. Yeah, it's always embarrassing. There's always some choice words said to the guy that has to wait. I love it when that happens, though, and the tower controller just doesn't deal with it. It's like, okay, taxi off the runway, turn left. Always be ready. Always be ready. Are the real Airbus McDo keys really clicky? Some are, some aren't. I'd say it kind of varies. The new Airbuses, the new ones that come out, yeah, they're pretty tactile. They don't really make a noise. Does this make a noise? I don't remember. I feel like there is a noise, it's just barely audible. That's, yeah, you can't really hear it. They're tactile. They're not like, but they're tactile. Have I flown an Airbus with lots of MELs? Oh yeah, Jim. I flew a 319 before it was going to the desert to be demolished, and matter of fact, that's the first time I encountered this MEL. And we not only did we have this MEL with FAC 1, so I flew a 319 just before it was being decommissioned. ELAC 1 in-op. I believe there was a FAC in-op. IDG was out on engine 1. APU bleed was not operable. So you had to you could use the generator, but you couldn't use the APU bleed. So you still had to do a ground air start. That was a big cluster. First officer pushed to talk in-op. But there was an MEL, I think part of the MEL was saying that AP1 had to be engaged for landing if you were doing a autopilot approach. So even though his push to talk was inhibited or broken, I was still doing the landings because per the MEL, the autopilot 1 was supposed to be engaged. So, and in our SOP, you can't have autopilot 1 on as a pilot, as the co-pilot, as a first officer. So it was just made for an absolute cluster of a day. There was a couple other things broken. I can't even remember, but I mean, we had 4 legs in it, Jeremy, 4 legs in that airplane. We started the day on time. We ended the day, I think, 4 hours late. And we had no we had no delays other than just the amount of steps and procedures that had to be done every single leg. And also with those procedures that I was talking about, I don't know if you caught the beginning of the stream, but there's a maintenance procedure that has to be done every single leg as well. They have to get up every time, even if you go to land at an outstation, they got to have a contract maintenance guy there. They got to go into the electronics bay. They had to do a couple things with the circuit breakers, reset a couple of things, and then when their procedure was done, then we could do ours. So the tray tables did work, AJ. They sure did. FCU is not very clicky, but for the price, it's amazing. So the real world, I haven't flown the Wind Wing one. The real world FCU up here, the EFIS and FCU, nothing is super, like these knobs aren't super clicky. They're almost like a mushy click, which is what I like about the Mini FCU. The Mini FCU pretty much nails it. I don't know how the Wind Wings feel. Now these, obviously, these are pretty. They click a little bit. Some click, some are loose. Actually, just the last flight we had, what popped off? I think his range knob popped off. The first officer's range knob, he went to turn it, just popped off. Need a little Allen screw. Fuel below 6620. We're estimating fuel on board 3,000 when landing at Wellington. Let's go ahead and pull that cost index back a little bit. Let's go 12. Going to save us anything. Gives us 200 pounds. And I tell you what, we can go up to 33. Let's climb 330. 330 blue. 33,000 is our limit with the APU on, so we're going to go 330. Why would they have this kind of SOP that tie autopilot position matters for pilot flying? I have to ask Airbus on that one. And it's only, Ali, that was only on landing. So if you were doing an approach, a coupled approach, autopilot 1 could be the only one engaged, and that had to do with the flight control computer being inoperative. The redundancy wouldn't have been there for autopilot 2 during approach. So it was autopilot 1 for a coupled approach. Now theoretically we just could do a visual approach and he flew. I think he landed one of the four. Well, I think I did 2. I did 3 flights and he did 1, and we both just decided that it'd be better if he just focused on the radios. I think that's what it was too. His push to talk trigger was broken, but something with my rad, I had something with my radio that made it a pain that I had to use the radios. So it was just easier. We collectively agreed that it was just easier for him to use the hand mic the whole time. So he just dedicated that day to hand mic flying, because he did do one leg. He's a good friend of mine. Without him, I think we would have been about 8 hours late. But yeah, we collectively agreed it'd be easy if he just dedicated to using the hand mic and the freaks. Maybe it was something to do with my transfer switch. I can't remember. It was a while ago. But as long as the John doesn't show up on the MEL, you're good to go. Exactly, Hasso Basso. Man, I don't know. Some of these captains, man, they'll get a 6-hour flight and have a LAV deferred. I'm like, I would probably refuse that. You know, the most I'll go with a LAV deferred 2 hours, I think. But if you're taking a 321, like I just talked to somebody the other day, he's like, yeah, we were in a 321 forward LAV in op completely, not even crew use only. And it was a 6.5 hour flight on a 321. San Juan to Dallas, I think. And I was like, man, I don't know if I would have, I would have made a stink with that one. I'd have been on the phone with the chief saying, look, we got to get this either crew use only, or I don't know. I mean, I know you got 2 more of them in the back, or 3 more of them. 2 more? I think there's 2 more. It depends on the config. Space flex or whatever. It depends on if you have a midsection galley or a midsection LAV too. But when I flew the Embraers, if we had 1 LAV in op, that was a big deal because you only have 1 left. Thoughts on toolbar pushback? Don't do it, Nabil. Don't do it, man. I had a lot of issues with toolbar pushback when it first came out. Don't do it. All right, we're leveling here at 330. It seems to be a smooth ride. Seatbelt sign will come off. Is the hand mic clickable on Fenix? It's the click spot. It's the click spot for removing the EFB. That's what it is. It's a click spot for removing the EFB. So now we're flying the other direction, right? So yesterday we had the other sunshades up. So now today, true realism mode. There you have it. There's your realism mode. FCU works better with the panel mount options. Oh, for the FCU, yeah. See, I like the idea of those mini FCUs, or the EFIS stuff. I just have nowhere else to put stuff on my desk. I really have no more space. Needs more Kinder fluff. Dude, I need to replace one. Thanks for reminding me. I have 3. I used to have 4, 2 sets of 2. I don't know. I lost one. I think I must have left it in the airplane. Sister-in-law had a CRJ flight yesterday. Lav was frozen. Oh, I've had a frozen lav issue before too. Matter of fact, I don't know if I told that story or not. It was the day before Thanksgiving, a couple of years ago. Day before Thanksgiving, 320, Atlanta, Dallas, or Atlanta, Houston, Atlanta, Dallas. And we were supposed to just do a turn. So we show up to the airplane. I think it's supposed to be like a 4 p.m. departure. Show up at 3 o'clock, 3:15. The aircraft had an MEL for the lavatory, something with the lav door and something with the drain. And what the MEL said was that after each leg, the lavatory had to be serviced. After each leg, the lavatory had to be serviced. I don't remember what the extent of the MEL was, but I just remember that was part of it. And it turns out that the airplane that I had flown, it went from LA to Detroit, and then from Detroit to Atlanta, and the lav was not serviced, and it was at 39,000 feet. And long story short, the lavatory was frozen. The waste lines were frozen, and the waste tank was showing full, or like 93%. So we're sitting there, an hour into the delay, and I'm just like, man, what are we doing? I have pictures of it. There's the maintenance came up, and they had a broomstick. They were trying to chisel out the clog. They thought it was just a little clog at the exit drain. Turns out the entire lav waste piping system was frozen. I'm like, okay, so how do we thaw it out? Well, we can turn the APU on, warm the airplane up. Well, guess what? The APU is deferred. So we couldn't do that. So okay, we got to put heaters on it. This turned into like a 3-hour ordeal. We ended up deplaning. They said, okay, we're going to swap you planes. So I swapped to another aircraft that had just had an engine change. So they took us over to the hard stand in maintenance, pick up a new airplane on the hard stand at a maintenance. Just had an engine change. There's 3 cowling bolts. I can't remember. Oh, I'm sure it might be modeled. I don't know if I can go out there though. Oh no, I just messed with my real time and real weather. Oh no, don't do that. Oh no, I don't know what I hit my set real weather time thing. I screwed up the time. Man, it's coming back now. Hit the wrong button. There are a set of bolts, these I think. That's a hoist point. There's a couple of them on here. They have to be installed. They were all missing. There was also equipment. There was aircraft equipment, airport equipment around the aircraft, and we couldn't push back. We sat over there on the hard stand for another 2 hours. So around midnight, I show up to work at 3 o'clock. By midnight, first officer and I, we called out fatigue. We're like, we can't, there's just nothing more. No one came to, it was a breakdown. There was like a mini meltdown going on. And when I was going back to the car, we're going back to the employee lot, I saw the airplane that we were in with the frozen pooper. That airplane ended up being ferried out anyway. Like, well, if you ferried it out, why couldn't you just flown it with people on it? But I don't know. It was a terrible night. I felt terrible. I mean, who wants their flight to cancel the day before Thanksgiving? I think it might have been 2 days before Thanksgiving. But we extended duty. We went as far as we could go, and then by midnight, we're sitting out there on the hard stand. Airplane's still busted up. The logbook was completely incorrect. Is there any delay time decision point when a flight is canceled? Friction Mafia, you'd have to. That's a good question for Wrong Side Sim. He's a dispatcher. I'm sure there is. There's crew limitations. There's limitations of how long you can be on duty, etc. Can you do a cross-gen or cross-bleed start from engine 1 with an op APU? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What is a frozen lavatory? It is frozen human feces and urine and whatever water is left. So the contents of the lab, after it goes to the eviscerator, it goes down into the piping to be drained. And it was frozen. The whole thing was frozen. So. Now, I don't know, and the reason I brought up the MEL is I think there was something, I don't know the schematics. I would imagine there's some type of, I don't know, I wouldn't say if the drains are heated, like the piping is heated or anything like that, but I think whatever the MEL was, because there was no door. There's a speed tape door, so I think it was subjected to extremely cold temps and it wasn't drained when it was supposed to, so it just froze. And then that was it. That's why the MEL says to drain it every leg. But it wasn't drained. He wants to talk lunch now. Yeah, I know, right? Who's hungry? Who's hungry? All right, and this is a pretty quick flight up to Wellington. So let's go ahead and look at our information down there because we only have 250 miles to go. And I believe this is actually kind of a short runway. So Wellington is maintenance base for Jetstar, 5955. Got 6,000 feet. That looks good. Let's take a look at the weather real quick. Arrival METAR. Winds are 030 at 6. All right. So we'll probably land on 34. Arrival approaches. What do they got? ILS 16s. ILS DME 34. Is that the most broken Airbus you've flown? No, I've flown a handful of really broken ones, man. Are we all landing 3-4 or what? Ooh, 1-6 looks better. 1-6 looks pretty juice. RNAV 35 X-ray. RNAV, well, you mean 34 X-ray? RNP AR 34 X-ray. Let's see, we're coming from the south. Up to Dorbu and turn around, land 1-6. Alright, we'll do that. We'll do it for juice. I've been liking the juice tour we've been doing. VOR DME 34. Ooh. Alright, so let's do the RNAV X-ray 1-6. And the arrival, I don't think did I plan an arrival? We planned the Wards 6. Let's see where that takes us into. I have the Wards 4. Do I not have up-to-date charts? Wards 4 Charlie. Ward 4 Charlie, RNAV 35 X-ray. Okay, let's do that. So we'll reset arrival. We're going to do the RNAV X-ray. 16 off the ward for, I only have Delta. Bravo or Delta? Wards 4 Delta from Dorbu. Let's do that. Wards 4 Delta from Dorbu. Wards 4 Delta. Approach via Dorbu. Insert. That looks good. Estimated that saved another 200 pounds. 3.5 on landing. That's pretty tight for a 321, I'll be honest with you guys. That is very tight. We're going to descend at 280 knots. Let's go to the perf. We'll set up our landing data here. Winds are 030 at 6. Just a little bit of a tailwind. Temperature down there is 16 and 1002. 16 and 1002 is 2958. 2958 is set. RNAV X-ray minimums going into Wellington. Did I start? I don't remember if I started. I did. We'll take the highest min since technically we wouldn't be legal with our ELAC fault. So we'll take the CD mins, we'll call it 950 in the barrow. 950 in the barrow, and we will not be doing an FLS approach. So you go rad nav, we would deselect, it's not there, so that means it must not be installed. Which it is not cool. But we do have AC essential switching. Cool, cool. Nav and go around. Who doesn't have that? Alright, we're back up. I love that background. Super juice. Look at that AOA just sitting up here at 33,000 feet. Do we have an APU contrail? No, we don't. We only have 2. This livery is hot though, man. Jeez. Jacob Anderson, good evening, sir. No APU contrail, unflyable. I know, that's what I'm saying, man. Unacceptable. Let's see, at 12:30. I wonder when we're going to do that prop stream. I may move that prop stream up. I don't know. We'll see. I think our prop flight this afternoon is going to be a lot of fun. We're actually going to kind of reverse course. We're going to go back to oh, I don't have a map? Oh. The en route map. Navigraph is doing some weird things right now. That's why I never should have updated. I updated Navigraph and then everything got screwed up. We'll leave this up though. At least we have that. Jeremy, we haven't bought a new airplane in career mode yet. There won't be a Barry Seal stream. We're just going to be flying the 414 Chancellor. It's such a good add-on. I didn't fly it a ton because I felt that it was kind of hollow after I got used to the black square stuff where you have service-based failures and all that stuff. I still think the black square is the king in terms of GA props. But the 414 was just the fact, it's so polished. The sounds are incredible. The flight model's incredible. It's such a polished twin, and it's a very powerful, very capable twin piston. Do I like this better or worse than the Labs 321? I don't even have the Labs 321, man. I don't need it. I don't want to go back to 2020. If the Labs 21 was on 2024, then I might have tried it just to see. But right now, there's no need for me to go buy another 321 CEO that does nothing more than what the Fenix does on a sim that I'm not necessarily enjoying right now. I'm enjoying 2024 more than 2020 by a long shot. Do I still use the Warthog base? No, I actually use the Moza AB9 base right now. I've updated the Moza AB9. It's a force feedback base. I use it as a set control loads with no feedback for the Airbus. I don't see any in-op stickers. Well, Turk, can you place your own in-op stickers? This is my question. So, like, I know you get in-op stickers when you load in if the airplane is already broken, because it determines if it's broken on the load-in, I guess. But can I be flying it and just add in-op stickers? So they've kept me from mostly terminal side, but I finally worked the pad. It's definitely my favorite. Awesome to see the outflow valve close and know exactly why that happens because of your vids. Nice, Joe Plains. Nice, man. Good deal. I'll be coming your way next week? 2 weeks? Let me check. I think my line check. Is my line check out of Chicago? Yeah. Check this nonsense out, Joe Plains. I'll be Chicago. I fly in from Tampa. I do a Tampa O'Hare, and then I go O'Hare back to Miami on Tuesday, the 4th. Hopefully it's not snowing. Long range forecast. That's too far out. Doesn't say yet. But that's my line check, so I gotta go. I have a line check on that flight. You're the first one saying 24 over 2020. Robert S., I've been saying it for a while, man. 2024 just feels so much more natural in terms of flying in the airplane. It's less mechanical. It just feels better, man. It feels better. That I don't like looking at a sepia sim. Every time I see a 2020 stream now, I can't unsee the yellow. Now, you can get 2020 looking pretty good with Rex Atmos. I will say that. I've seen some Rex Atmos shots, and I ran Atmos for one stream, and it can make it look pretty good with Atmos. But the color palette in 2024 is far more realistic than 2020. For the 414 stream, checks out the NZ simulation center. It's all updated 24. Yeah, logo lights. I updated a bunch of them because I bought an NZ bundle a while back. So I'm updating them, and it should be fun. I think we're going to do 2 little hops in it. Justin, I know, man. Once the PMDG brings that 7.3 into 24, I think a lot of people are going to get comfortable in 24. There'll be more. Jacob, remember when 2020 first dropped, man? There were no add-ons for a while. It's going to take some time. But see, right now for me, I personally have enough airplanes in it to keep me really entertained. I've got the Fenix, the Avro RJ85s. I've got the 414, the Lear. I like the A400M. I like a lot of the default piston stuff. The Beach 18's a lot of fun. So I've personally got enough now. Now I do miss the old school stuff. I really want the FSS 727 and 24. I know it's incompatible right now. They pulled it. I'd love to see the PMDG stuff, the 777, the 73. I'd love to see that stuff come over. The F28, I'm dying for that F28 to make its way back to 24. After flying the DC-9 yesterday and it being an absolute mess, it just reminds me how much I love the F28 series from Just Flight. And when they bring that over to 2024, I'll be set. I'll have my retro jets. Yeah, I've heard that too. The 7.3 will be a lot of rework for 24. I think that's just the way that they develop that. Their method on the PMDG stuff, I guess it takes a little bit more time to get it working in 24. Which, it's unfortunate, but it's just the name of the game. I think in the long run, I mean, you can definitely tell there's a reason that 24 feels more fluid. It just does. Like the Lear never flies it. Well, because I haven't had time to rebind that thing, man. The Lear is an airplane you will die by bindings. Literally, we crashed it into a hangar because I didn't have the right binding. I just haven't had enough time to come in, sit, and do Lear practice flying. But I'll tell you what, the 414 is nice. The upcoming 777-200ER is going to be the first compatible 24 aircraft. See, that would be a really smart play, in my opinion, by PMDG if they bring the 777-200ER straight to 2024. I think that would be a good play by PMDG. FSS shouldn't be too far off. They released the beta for a while, almost worked. Yeah, I have it, J-Foot. I've got the 7.2 in 2024, the beta, the testing version, and I got it to work mostly. And I tell you what, it flies great. But yeah, trying to get it compatible with all the new stuff. Just look at the disgrace. And I mean, that DC-9. Take away some of the mid textures, because overall it looks pretty good. The model's great. The textures is good in some areas, terrible in some areas. The sounds are atrocious, but you can tell that the DC-9, they copied and pasted whatever they did for 2020. They didn't change for 2024 because switches are reversed. Can't shut the APU off because the switch won't click backwards. Autopilot servos are hardwired backwards. Autopilot level off or just level flight works 50% of the time. We dealt it with it on stream. I couldn't get it to altitude hold. After I reloaded, I got altitude hold to work just fine. So sometimes the steering works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just like they got it sort of working for 2020, and then they say, hey, it's compatible for 2024. And I can't. That drives me nuts. It's not. They're just trying to, I don't know. I don't know if it's malicious intent or intentional intent. If it's not intentional, then it's just gross negligence, which is just as bad. It's like no one. How do you answer me this question? Answer me this question. What is the first switch that you manipulate when you get in an airplane? 99% of the time, the very first switch that you press is going to be the battery switch. The battery switch has no sound file. What? How do you how do you put an airplane where the very first switch you click just doesn't have a sound file associated with it? I mean, it's not a make it if that was the only thing wrong, who cares? Oh, oops, they forgot it. But what kind of testing? Who tested that? You just tested it from a hot start running on the runway? Which actually, I say that jokingly, but that's probably what they did, because when you do a hot start, the APU is off. So, they never actually did a cold start in testing to see if you could shut off the APU or to see if there was any switch sounds with the battery. That really is probably what happened. They legitimately did their testing from a hot start mid-flight. Oh yeah, everything's on and working. Okay, cool. Just like Control E, good, ship it. Exactly, AJ, exactly. And again, I don't know SkySim from Adam. I don't know if it was intentional or not. But either way you look at it, it's either intentional, rent is due, or you guys have no idea what you're doing. Which, in my opinion, on both sides of the spectrum, those are pretty bad. Now, I still think, and I still want to put this out there, is I still think it can be saved. I do. I think that airplane can be saved, but I'm not holding my breath. All right, it's time to start down. We'll set 10,000 for right now. Let's go ahead and manage it. Thrust idle, descent, down we go. Dorbu is actually at 6,000, so we'll go ahead and set 6. 6 is set. Mach descent, more drag. We're not going to do that because we're low on gas anyway. We're just going to catch it. We should be fine. NZQ, or NZ Whiskey November is the Prague page. 80 miles out. Down we go. Looking good. Do I have real cat turb? Nah, man, I'd never mess with any of that stuff. You don't need real cat turb. Just turn on realistic turbulence in the 2024 and it's realistic as it can be. Even medium is pretty good. I get clear air turbulence all the time. I don't see 24 compatibility in the FlySimware website. If I buy the 414 for 20, will it work for 24? Yes, it will, Joe Plains. I had the same question. Let me just double check. I'm going to double check my download I did yesterday. 414, because I was curious about that. Hope this doesn't crash my sim. Info, installation instructions. Okay, yeah, so when you download the installer, get your files from the FlySimware store, and when you get the installer, it will work. Current change log. Yes, so here we go. The current change log, the version 4.60 of the 414 alpha. This is effective December 15th, 2024. New installer for the FlySim store, or the Fly Store, now includes options to install into 2024. Includes some updated code to fix dark LCD screen bug for 2024. So I can confirm that it does work. Now, when I bought it from the FlySim, I actually already had it, so I had to just re-download the installer. I didn't see anything that said 2020 compatibility until I ran the installer. So I was skeptical about that too. I think maybe they need to update their website or whatnot just to make us feel better. But it does indeed find the 2024 directory, and it installs right in like it should. So yeah, I was skeptical about that too. But it is there, it is in the change log, and you should be good to go. Alright, we'll close up the tray tables, brighten up his screens, we'll pull the Kinderfluffs. How do I turn on realistic? I'm tired of real cat, 60-knot crossover flight. Are you in 2020 or 2024? If you're in 2020, I mean, it's the same area. You go to pilot assistance, and then you turn your turbulence setting. You can adjust it there. It's in the control setting, or it's in settings, assistance, and then turbulence. Is vertical speed sometimes used more instead of open? No. Friction Mafia, the only time you see vertical speed up here is when you got a RJ driver, a 145 guy up here. Then he thinks he's still in the 145 trying to use vertical speed. Good Airbus pilots really don't use vertical speed that much. I say good in quotations. I'll use vertical speed sometimes if I want to level off shallow. Maybe you're climbing out. We talked about this before. So you got traffic coming in. You might trigger a TA. So instead of climbing up an open climb to 10,000 feet when you know there's traffic coming in above you, go vertical speed 1,000 to shallow it out. Yeah, Joe Plains. I mean, check out the stream this afternoon, man. I was very impressed when I got back in the 414 yesterday, last night. I was doing some testing, getting my views bad and all that. And I forgot what a joy that airplane is. I'm bummed that it doesn't have persistence, like service-based failures or anything like that. If it did, it'd be on a whole nother level. But that aside, it's still a whole lot of fun to fly. And the sounds are good, Mr. Saturday. They are. Mr. Saturday, was I supposed to put 2 files in that livery? Or just the one that you posted? Was I supposed to put that other JSON thing in there, the same thing I did for the 380? I haven't tried the aluminum one yet, but I didn't see that livery in the airplane selectables yet. I don't know if I did something wrong. The white one, just the JSON. Okay. I just have to reinstall it. I didn't see it in my selectable aircrafts. But it's in my community folder. ready to go. Have I had issues with the real aircraft side stick? No. The only time I've had a side stick fault in the real aircraft was in the sim. Instructor pulled a nasty on us. I'm glad he did it. We were doing a Cat 3 auto land, and in the sim, during the auto land, we got I think it was was it a trim? I don't know if it was a trim runaway or something, but we got the auto land light. So we go around, so I'm flying, I go around flaps, push the thrust levers to Toga, aircraft pitches up from go around, the trim is out of position, and ding, side stick fault. So now we are Toga, full thrust, pitching up 20 degrees, my side stick's faulted out, I've got no control. So I said, your controls, use your side stick. And we were able to get it, we were able to save it. But that was a nasty. That was a nasty gram. Because that sucker pitches up full Toga and you go nose down. You're like, why can't I push the nose down? Why can't I push the nose down? And that thing's just climbing. Not a enjoyable experience. I know I held off on the 414 for the Dukes. It's kind of happening again. I know Joe planes. The Dukes to me are still superior because of that. It's like you own the Duke, you know? When you get in that Duke, what you do to it, it's going to go with you, and it's tracking your engine time and all that stuff. So for those reasons, I think the Dukes are still superior. But for right now, since I haven't been able to get my Dukes in 2024, 414 is awesome. How's this Moza profile feel? I like it, Flight Force. I haven't done a 321 flight with it yet, and I think I might have to adjust it because I think Vodka only had this set for the 2020 is what we tested it on the 320. It shouldn't be that much different for the 321, but there's a couple different things I'm testing with it. So this is my first landing with this profile on the 321. We'll see. What's up, V1? I heard from a friend that Airbus changed the SOP to start first crew, calling for a fact check. It's always been start one. I've started engine 1 on the Airbus since I started flying the Airbus. There has never been, other than the steering on blue, other than the old hydraulic layout, could you maybe justify, even then it doesn't necessarily make sense. Start engine 1 has always been the logical way of starting engines on the Airbus. The Europeans start engine 2 first sometimes because I don't know if it's a fleet commonality thing with the Boeing. I don't know of a U.S. operator that starts engine 2 first on the Airbus. It makes, if you look at the systems layout of the 320, it makes no logical sense to start engine 2 first. Never has. I actually made a video about that. Have you guys seen that video? Hold on. It does not matter which order you start on this. You switch on the ADIRs. No, it does not matter. I just start them the way that you count. How do you count to 3? Do you count 1, 3, 2? Do you count 3, 2, 1? Do you count 1, 2, 3? If you count 1, 2, 3, that's how I start them. But it does not make a difference. Where is that video? Oh, here it is. Alright, now I can't play it because it was copyright striking, but this is a official Airbus video. It's a shorts video. It's 12 seconds. Go ahead and watch it. This is official Airbus documentation. Have we considered that perhaps the Europeans are just weird? It is definitely.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 6.
They like to do things backwards. All right. Magic Bale Ref 2962 is set. 2962 is set. Getting ready to go through 10,000 feet. Wing lights coming on. Getting ready to descend through 10,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and activate 240 knots. And I will go ahead and activate, confirm the approach phase. Activate and confirmed. You could count like the O'Hare terminal, 1, 2, 3, 5. That is true. O'Hare terminals are a little suspect. We are minimum fuel for this approach. This is tight. All right, there's our brick and the stick. Go ahead and arm it up. App nav final is blue.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 300, vacated runway 34.
Wellington 34. Wellington traffic, Jetstar 357. We're about 15 miles to the southwest, setting up for the RNAV X-ray 16 Wellington. Have I seen the 717 stall test gone wrong? Pretty neat. Staying calm on near destination test pilots are different breeds. I haven't seen that one. Is it an old video? I mean, it must be an old video. 717 stall test. I may have seen it a long time ago. I count left to right. Not my fault. They mislabeled the 8 ears. Well, there you go. You can count left to right. You can do 1, 3, 2. I typically count 1, 2, 3. Hell, you can go 2, 1, 3 if you want to. I'm not going to make a difference. Looking for the first buried seal cargo 321. Oh, Andy B does 231. Hey, that's a new one. Start in the middle. I like that, Andy B. If money's no issue, have you ever considered full-size 320 cockpit for simming? No, I haven't. Knowing you work for the real thing, but for immersion, would you do it? It just doesn't sound that enjoyable. I mean, if you're really saying money is no issue, then yeah, sure, why not? But then you got, where the space, where are you going to put it? Am I put it in the office? Cool. I mean, yeah, I would love to have it. Is someone going to come set it up for me too? I just don't have the time for that kind of investment right now. But I would also still like to have a generic sim, because I still really enjoy flying other stuff. If money was no option, I would get a 727 cockpit. That's what I would do. With the flight engineer panel. How cool would that be? A little bit hot here for Dorbu. Get some speed brake action out. Alright, we'll get the cams up online. Flight recorder up. There's one guy on YouTube that has a full-blown 727 cockpit. It looks amazing.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Oh, you know what, Flight Sim Guy? I think I have seen that video. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that video. They roll inverted. Yeah.
Well, traffic, 11 miles, runway 34 ILS, Wellington.
You guys tell me to do the RNAV 16, and then everyone does the ILS 34, which would have saved us time. All right, final lap. Go around altitude is 3,000. Set go around altitude 3,000 bleh. Next speed restriction is 210. Can you mess up your license on a line check? It'd go on your record as a failed line check. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much it would mess up your license, but it's definitely going to be on your record. Fuel tank low level. I know it. All right. Fuel crossfeed on. What? Fuel leak, fuel imbalance, fuel crossfeed on, left tank pump 1 and 2 off.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 60,
Oh, it's because we turned.
347 miles, Wellington.
We're going to ignore that ECAM right now because we were in the turn. We do need to slow down though.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 61025 to the southwest. Setting up for the RNAV runway 16.
There we go. Finally someone did the RNAV 16.
Traffic 105, 16 miles.
Fuel is sloshing around in those tanks. That's crazy. Wellington traffic, Jetstar 357, just over Whiskey November 416 inbound RNAV 16 Wellington traffic. All right, here comes S speed. Let's get flaps 1 out there. Speed checks, flaps 1. Oh, look at the windmills out there.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 600, ILS 345 miles, Wellington.
He's on a 5-mile final. Better hurry up, brother. All right, flaps out, clear status. 170 at Atrav. DFE next to -10, flaps 2. I hope we'll slow down here. Just set up Toby. Nice, Nabil. Let me know how you like it. All right, recording is on. We're getting some chop in here this morning. Wellington traffic, New Zealand 3, or correction, Jetstar 357, just coming off the RNAV X-ray 16 on about an 8-mile final. Wellington. Gears coming down. We need to slow down.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 600, 3 miles, ILS 34, Wellington.
Right, so he's 3 miles. We're going to slow to final right now. Let's go ahead, manage speed, gear down, VFE next -10, flaps 3. We're going to slow to final right now, give him some extra space. Hopefully it'll clear. VFE next -10, flaps full. Look at that. Look at that juicy flap wiggle. All right, we're slowing to final. Signs on. That's on me. Lights are coming on. I don't know why I had that off. All right, let's hand fly it in. Autopilot's coming off.
Wellington traffic, Jetstar 195 is turning for final at 10 miles. We'll slow to new approach, Jetstar 195.
Yeah, we got a 15-knot tailwind. We can only land with 10. Who? Was it Flix? I blame Flix for this. 10-knot tailwind limitation there, Flix. Get close to it. I turn the auto thrust off here. Winds 36014. No, you said RNAV X-ray 16. You said this one was the juice. We're below 10 knots right now. 1,000 feet, stable, clear to land. And Wellington traffic, Jetstar 357 approaching a 4-mile final 16.
Minima.
Landing. All right, let's get some hand flying on here. Let's go ahead and turn the flight directors off. Birds on.
Wellington traffic, Jetstar 105. We're holding an 8-mile final, currently at 114 knots. We'll advise on the down runway 3rd.
Wilco.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 600, vacated 34, Wellington.
It's like an air show down here. Man, this 10-knot tailwind is going to be spicy. I don't like this. I don't like this, Flix. Flix is saboteuring our stream here. Jeez. 10-knot tailwind, short runway. At least we're empty. Yeah, I don't like this at all.
100. 40, 30, 20, retard.
I just got to set it down. I don't have time to float. I don't have time to float right on the limitation. Spoilers, reverse green, decel. Nice runway textures. Dang, that looks good. Let's see if we can make this next one. 70 knots.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 604. We're established the RMP X-ray runway 3.
He's on the 3-4. Oof. Take the reverse high speed.
Jetstar 105, 5 mile final for ILS 34.
Yeah, Wellington, Jetstar 357. We're clear runway 16. Winds 340 at 10.
Wellington traffic, New Zealand 610, 10 mile right base 16, Wellington.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin.
Alright, we'll come over here. Gen 1, that's associated. Clear electric. See, I don't know if this scenery is fully native because I'm getting a nice stutter on the ground here. See, I don't think these sceneries are ready for this sim yet. This is a payware. It's like it's loading 2 airports, you know? That's exactly what's happening. This is the, I believe this is the Indie Builds one. But I don't know how anything can be compatible if you can't shut off the default ones. It does look nice, that's for sure. You can disable default? I'm gonna need to know how to do that. I think that's what's going on here. Yeah, see, look. Out of VRAM already. Oh, there it is. Crash the frickin' sim. Crash the sim. And that is why I don't use your nonsense stuff. I'm uninstalling that right now. We could watch the replay. Hold on. I can reload the sim. Hold on. Turn that off. I'm uninstalling it right now from the sim. Whoever told me you are all dead to me. You are all dead to me. Oscar. Let's see. My products. Uninstalling right now. What was that? Wellington. Uninstall. Uninstall. It's compatible for 24. My rear end. Nothing scenery-wise can be compatible for 24 because if you can't disable the default, they're going to double up. Absolutely nonsense. Auckland. Uninstalling you. Yeah, Hayden, it was validated to work in 24, but I call bullshit. Proof is in the pudding. Uninstalling that one. What else is installed? I think that's it. New Zealand Airport bundle not installed. Good. All right. Relaunch the sim real quick. We can watch the replay. That's what I like about Flight Recorder replay. 2024 doesn't crash for me, and when it does, it's almost always an airport. Well, this is the first. That's the first 2024 crash I've ever had. Oh, Flight Beam, not any builds. Thank you, College Dude. Forgive me. It was not any builds. Forgive me. Flight Beam, dead to me. That was the first ever hard crash I've ever had in 2024. Right there, first one I've ever had. Key 6, thanks for the $2 super chat. For the record, it was not GSX this time. It was not GSX. You are absolutely correct. But I know exactly what it was. And for anybody that wants to install sceneries, knock yourself out. But I just do not see how it can be quote-unquote compatible. Because it's not. The marketplace isn't open. So, yeah, you may get it to show up in the sim. But get rid of all that nonsense. Never had an issue. I'm done. You're all dead to me. I think you have an issue with your sim. I use plenty of 24 compatible product. No, nope, BS. Unless you're running maybe a 4090, then maybe I can see you could squeak by with lower settings and have the VRAM. But if you don't have enough VRAM, it's going to max out on you when you run double airports like that. You can disable sceneries in the marketplace. I can't even open the marketplace, dude. I don't know how you guys are disabling stuff in the marketplace. Because the marketplace isn't even modeled yet. Nah, fake news. Fake news. Default sim for the win. Still looks just as good. A system running out of memory is due to bad program, and that's it. Probably in 2024 itself. I mean, maybe, but when you think about it, I don't know, man. You're asking the sim to double up on 2 sceneries. I don't know. That's a lot. Yeah, Scuba, that's exactly what happens. The only time 24 has ever crashed is when you try to make 2020 stuff work. 100% accurate, Scuba. 100% accurate. Are you having blurry ground textures? Nope. Nope. Robert S., go back to my departure here just on this stream while we're looking at this lovely loading screen. Go back to my departure and let me know if you think those look blurry. I don't think they look blurry. I thought it looked pretty incredible departing today. I really do. Ramon, you're running it on a 1070? Well, you probably have appropriate settings, right? See, when you get a new GPU, your bar of minimum expectation for a graphic setting always increases. So like I ran the GTX, was it the 5? When the 5 series were out, it was like the 570 or GTX 580 maybe. And I mean, I love that thing. And all the new cards started coming out after the 5 series, and I would try to run the higher series GPU settings, and it just wouldn't work. So I had to just accept my 5 series GPU settings, and I was happy with them, and it would run. Appropriate settings, 1080p and high settings, exactly. All right, let's see. Let's load in here real quick. I'm curious. You guys say, I'm curious where it is. My library. Everything is streamed. So how do you uninstall World Updates, New Zealand? It's streamed. So how would you uninstall it? That's the thing. You can't uninstall this nonsense. It's all streamed. Now, if we could, if it was locked in, you just disable them. No, I don't know. I think that's nonsense. Don't even waste your time. Just wait until the marketplace is open and press unstream. Nah, I want to see what the default one looks like. Where were we? Wellington? NZWN. Meow. Let's just load in on 1.6. Yeah, see, it was trying to load all of this plus the flight beam. You're asking way too much, man. You can deinstall premium. It's where you select it. Nah. I'm gonna wait for official marketplace. I will happily wait for the official marketplace. All right. See, those runway textures still look pretty dang good if you ask me. We'll do the replay here real quick. We'll go into, we'll just make it active. Ready state, activate. Love the Fenix. Been out of 24 game for a bit. Have they allowed you to download individual items? No. No, they have not yet. Alright, everything's coming back. We'll load in at flaps 2. Parking brake is off. Alright, watch this. Boom.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Oh, we never turned the lights on, dang it. Well, I forgot to turn the lights on. That's alright. Oh, I left the gear down. That's alright, we'll let it load in like this. Let's do a little bit more of a juicy view here in the morning. Dawn approach into Wellington off 16. I'll get the lights after we land. I'll be able to reset the lights. Watching us, Joe, while working and watching planes land at OTHH. Very cool, Chris. Very cool. Yeah, the lights are pulsing because I didn't have them on. Restarted the flight. But see, this is where Flight Recorder shines. Because it doesn't matter if the sim crashes. Once you have it recorded, you're good to go. Oh, now it looks like the lights are set. Yep. Lights are set. That's the juice right there. Look at the elevator wobbling. That's cool on the horizontal stab. It was a little bit windy, man. I did not like that. I think we touched down right at a 10 knot limitation. That is a slippery slope. For airports that do not have enhanced sceneries, you still have that issue. You cannot disable it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think you could only unstream premium airports. Premium airports, I think. For example, PACSIM Cleveland works fine, but I still get default glass jetways. Interesting. I don't know what the heck that is. They're like balloons floating around over there? What in the world is that? Well, what's floating over there? I have used a bunch of 2020 airports with Fenix, but I do have 24 gigabytes of VRAM. Ah, see? The truth comes out, Mr. Romulus. Yeah, I've been using all these sceneries. I've been using 3 airports at once, so I get the best textures on the ground, the best jetways, and then the best terminal buildings. But I also run a NASA 5879,000 card that has a 62 gig VRAM. What stadium is that? What is that? Let's see. Let's watch the wing view here. A little stadium right there. Jetpack guy spotted, exactly. Friction Mafia. Is there really a fishing mod? Oh, look. See, now we got melted buildings. We didn't have that before. We don't have it cached. Oh, it's not gonna match. Look at that. Whoa. So it doesn't even match because we landed on on the other scenery. This is interesting. So the default scenery has the elevation here, and you can see exactly what's happening. So when I had that scenery installed, it was installed completely on top of this. Wow. It's actually kind of interesting. Look how much higher you sit on the payware scenery. I bet on Flightbeam being correct. Yeah, I probably would put money on them too. Because it did have that nice little wall when we flew in. Well, there's still a wall kind of there. I don't know, it all looks kind of janky right now, doesn't it?
Pull up.
Oh well. Alright, we tried our best.
Speed.
Wonderful. I'll let you guys watch this full replay coming in. But I can't wait to fly the 414 next. That's going to be fun. AJ, they said $3 super chat. The stripper loves me. We're meeting again tomorrow. We're meeting again in a few hours, AJ. We're meeting again in a few hours, my man. All right. If you thought the scenery was looking pretty good on this flight, just wait till we see it low level in the 414 Chancellor. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that flight. I can't wait to just sit back and chill and do some prop ops. Land into the wind next stream. I'll try my best, Felix. A lot of saboteurs on this stream. A lot of saboteurs. All right, though, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. Got to dig in the MEL book a little bit. Short and sweet flight this morning. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting that like button. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next stream. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm B1. See you. Freaking wing flex bugged out. It's too funny. I love Microsoft. Anti-gravitic propulsion systems.